Oh my god, this is the episode that got everybody talking. The Judoon were in it, remember them? And Captain Jack was in it, and he had nanogenes like off of his first episode. Remember the nanogenes? Oh my god, but what a twist that was, where it turns out the lady was hiding a Time Lord personality in a chameleon arch pocket watch type setup like out of Human Nature. And oh my god, she was another secret hidden doctor that we didn't know about. And who could she be working for? Could be anybody. It could be the Rani, or it could be OMGER. What if it's the smoke monster? Why are there polar bears on the island? Maybe this possible hidden doctor lady is the Valyard, or perhaps a doppelganger doctor like off of Meglos. Or maybe this is confirmation that the Morbius Doctor's timeline is canon. And I made this flowchart explaining that the timelines diverge, and that explains why there's technically two Ninth Doctors counting Richard E. Grant, and this lady's from this alternate timeline of Doctors set in a universe where the TARDIS is an 80-foot... Okay, so yeah, I enjoyed Fugitive of the Judoon quite a lot, like lots of people did, if only for the fact it's basically an early Moffat era episode in the vein of A Good Man Goes to War. It's woven almost entirely out of nostalgic elements, and its primary goal is to bait and tease us about what it's going to do in the future. And I haven't had an episode like that in a while, so I guess I'm a bit warmer to it now than back when the show was around to just do that and basically nothing else. Well, since it's a Moffat type episode, I'm going to change back to my long-haired avatar like I had back in the day for one video only. Oh wow, nostalgia, brings back memories. Fugitive of the Judoon strokes the fanboy section of your brain, and it takes a while to properly step back for it and realise that it's pretty insubstantial on its own. And if I'd made this video directly after watching it, I'd be gibbering like the sickeningly incessant fanboy that I am. So the episode sets itself up to be a bit of throwback Russell era inspired fluff. The space rhino aliens invade Gloucester, and the episode appears to exist to contrast our weird stupid aliens with a domestic suburban setting for the lols, but there's all these teasers that this Lee person is hiding something. The Judoon are looking for this alien fugitive who's hiding out in Gloucester, and we're all sat around waiting for what the big reveal's going to be. I was enjoying it for what it was at first. I've always liked the Judoon, and the ones in this episode do look really nice. They're really well done for a show on Doctor Who's budget, and it's sad that I kind of forgot about them as this episode went on, because basically everything outside of this episode's big surprise doesn't really matter. Like A Good Man Goes to War, it's an episode that exists for the sake of the series throwing a curveball at you, and like Let's Kill Hitler that followed it, the big reveal of this episode is that a seemingly incidental character turns out to have been an important one all along. Unlike Let's Kill Hitler though, which blows its load a bit too early in the runtime, Fugitive of the Judoon had the sense to go a bit slower, steadier, and at least sow some misdirection to make you think that Lee's going to be the important one, so it's a surprise when it turns out that he's not the one that we should be looking at. That, and unlike Let's Kill Hitler, this episode at least gives you some indication that the series might actually be going somewhere with its curveball, because the amount of wild speculation you can sow with introducing a previously unheard of incarnation of the Doctor completely out of the blue like this is fucking huge. Hey, remember the last time the show did that? I thought the episode started out kinda weird with the companions confronting the Doctor about how distant she is. It came out of nowhere and I just couldn't help but be thrown by it, because I was just thinking, last week you lot were fine with 13 and you were going on your usual adventures with her, and now you're confronting her about her character arc. Where did this come from? It feels like this should have come off the back of the final scene of Spyfall. It kind of makes this teased deeper exploration of the Doctor's character feel a bit disjointed if it's got some random run-of-the-mill episodes, Orphan 55 and the Tesla one, sandwiched between them that don't even pay any lip service to it. It's kind of throwing those episodes under a bus as well, because it makes them seem much less important than this massive deal that shows up a few episodes later. Then again, maybe that's all part of the misdirection. Make me think that this proposed deeper exploration of the Doctor's character was going nowhere for a couple of random dispensable episodes, then Fugitive of the Judoon's more of a surprise when it shows up and smacks me in the face with that twist. And the episode's surprise does work. Really well, actually. You set it up to make it look like a bit of inconsequential fluff, you bring back an old monster that wasn't even really that popular, and then you do this. And it establishes a precedent now. An episode that we go into could look like it's not going to be a big deal, and then anything could happen. So suddenly we find out there's another version of the Doctor running around, and 13 can't remember being her, and she can't remember being 13. It's a massive confusing moment for 13, and then it just drops her back to her companions, and presumably we're going to be left to wonder what the fuck happened there until the finale. It's got the fanbase talking alright, although whether the fanbase is going to appreciate Fugitive the Judoon in hindsight is all dependent on how this arc concludes, because that ended up happening with River Song as well. You look at what the reception to her was like at the start and what it was like at the end, and they're very different reactions, and hindsight played a key role in the perception of her and the episode central to her arc. There is a lot riding on this finale now, and I'm not quite sure how the wider audience took this Doctor reveal. Were they interested in where they're going with it, or could they not give a shit? Because it's kind of mostly there just for fanboys like me to speculate about, but it was such a massive moment, and the episode gets totally consumed by fan service at around the midpoint. It brings back Captain Jack, teases about the Cybermen, that you kind of forget by the end of the episode that, wait, wasn't this episode about the Judoon invading Gloucester? That felt like a lifetime ago, but it was actually just the start of the episode. Fugitive of the Judoon mutates into something completely different by the end of the runtime. The plot kind of starts getting suffocated by fan service as it goes on. I mean, I like that, obviously. I'm an obsessive fanboy, but I do still recognise that Fugitive of the Judoon is insubstantial on its own, and its structure is quite simplistic. You do spend a fair bit of the runtime just waiting for them to reveal who Ruth is, with pretty unsubtle dialogue, which just reads, "Oh my god, who could this character possibly be?" And I can't say I was particularly invested in Ruth finding out that her whole life was a lie, because my gibbering fanboy brain was just drooling at the screen going, "Come on, episode, reveal your secrets to me. Let me see what's inside your mystery box." And here's the thing, if the Ruth Doctor doesn't turn out to be a fake out, like with the next Doctor with David Morrissey, if this is a genuine continuity reshaping series arc and the finale is going to be something that we're all going to have to incorporate into canon now, what new Who has added to the series timeline already read like bad fanfiction, and if we keep indulging in it, the longer it goes on, the messier it'll get. So the series timeline overall now looks like this. The first Doctor, the second Doctor, the third Doctor, the fourth Doctor, the fifth Doctor, the sixth Doctor, the seventh Doctor, the eighth Doctor. Then there's a secret hidden Doctor called the War Doctor. The 9th Doctor is actually the 10th Doctor, the 10th Doctor is actually the 11th Doctor, the Metacrisis Fake Regeneration Doctor is actually the 12th Doctor, the 11th Doctor is actually the 13th Doctor, New Regeneration Cycle, the 12th Doctor who's actually the 14th Doctor or the new 1st Doctor, the 13th Doctor who's actually the 15th Doctor or the new 2nd Doctor, depending on how you look at it. And now we've got the Ruth Doctor who comes somewhere. Spot the place where the show vanished up its own arse. It's a Moffat-era complaint again, and it's a hard one for me to make, especially since I'm obsessed with Expanded Universe media, and yes, Expanded Universe media makes this timeline even longer. And the show's doing something interesting to me, it's doing what I want, yes, but I recognise that a series that's obsessed with itself loses its mass appeal because it becomes alienating to outsiders. They tried to ditch all the complicated bollocks and just do straight adventures again in Series 11, but people started losing interest, so the show's kind of retreating into its comfort zone of self-indulgence again, which is nice for a while, nice for me, it gets me interested again and I get to babble all my theories and construct massive overblown flowcharts, but just like with the simplistic safe formula episodes we had last year, I do realise that this isn't exactly breaking new ground either. Fugitive of the Judoon is different to the previous 15 episodes of the show, but it only really felt like a breath of fresh air for that reason. You know, because I haven't had an episode like this in a while. You have to stop and take a step back before you realise that it's not really doing anything that new and that daring. Adding a new Doctor to the timeline sounds like a bold move, yes, but it's been done before. The show is still doing what it knows. I would actually quite like it if Jo Martin turns out to be the 14th Doctor and she's lost her memory, because I kind of want to see more of Jo Martin as the Doctor. We haven't had long with her, of course, and she's got some development to do, but I was just kind of struck by this moment here where she's looking over the top of her glasses at Jodie. She kind of gives me Hartnell vibes, you know, in the way that she talks down to her. The Ruth Doctor turning out to be 14 would probably be the simplest and best solution to this, because if we're crowbarring more secret regenerations into the timeline, that's just going to make things even more complicated and confusing than they already are. Again, don't get me wrong with anything I've said here. I enjoyed Fugitive of the Judoon a lot. And I'm enjoying Series 12 as an experience a shit ton more than Series 11. This episode got me interested. My head was buzzing with theories for days afterwards. Doctor Who started eating up space in my brain which could have been used for something more productive. And I like that feeling a lot, but this episode's a bit like fast food. It tastes good in the moment, but it's clearly not a substantial meal, and it's probably not going to do you that much good in the long run.